Annabelle Creation is directed by David F. Sandberg. He is the same man who directed the horror film Lights Out and the DCEU film Shazam. This movie is part of the Conjuring movie universe. Annabelle Creation was released in theaters in the United States on Friday, August 11th, 2017. As far as the release of this movie goes, it was the fourth movie to be released in this universe. As far as the chronological order and the years of how events fall in these movies, if you watch it in the correct order, then it is considered to be the second movie in the correct chronological timeline. This film is the prequel to the movie Annabelle, which was released in 2014. Annabelle Creation is a horror mystery thriller. The film stars Anthony LaPaglia as Samuel Mullins, Miranda Otto as Esther Mullins, Samara Lee as Bee, which is her nickname. Her real name is Annabelle. Stephanie Sigmund as Sister Charlotte. Talitha Bateman as Janice. Quick note here, Talitha Bateman is also the big sister to actor Gabriel Bateman from 2016's Lights Out and 2019's Child's Play remake. Gabriel actually had a short cameo as a little boy who lives in the same apartment building as the main characters Mia Form and John Form from the sequel to this film Annabelle, which came out in 2014. He is seen playing, drawing, and coloring pictures with his little sister on a flight of stairs in the film Annabelle. So continuing on with the film stars from Annabelle Creation are Lulu Wilson as Linda, Mark Bramwell as Father Massey, Grace Fulton as Carol, Felipe Coulthard as Nancy, Taylor Buck as Kate, Lulu Safran as Tyranny, Brian Howe as Mr. Higgins, and Carrie O'Malley as Miss Higgins. Annabelle Creation is rated R for horror, violence, and terror. So this film is not for young children. I would say probably 18 years of age and older. Annabelle Creation has a runtime of 1 hour and 49 minutes. After the tragic loss of their young daughter, Samuel and Esther Mullins welcome a group of young female orphans and their caretaker, Sister Charlotte, who is a young nun who is with the girls, and they are having to relocate due to undisclosed reasons. Samuel is a doll maker, and the film focuses on Sister Charlotte and on the two youngest orphan girls, Janice and Linda, who are best friends and who really love one another. Both of them have hopes and dreams of being adopted together by the same couple they hope to one day call Mom and Dad, and as Linda says, so we can really be sisters. Janice wears a leg brace and uses a crutch on her left leg due to a polio outbreak, and feels left out and isolated from the rest of the group due to her circumstances with her legs. The other older girls don't really associate with Janice and are sometimes rude and mean to her because of her condition. As the kids are exploring their new orphanage home, Janice stumbles upon a locked room that Mr. Mullins tells her no one goes into and that the room always stays locked. Later on that same night, which is the girls' first night there, Janice discovers random notes being left around the house, and the room that was once locked is now mysteriously unlocked. She ventures in and discovers a mysterious-looking doll locked away in a dark closet inside the room. And inside the closet where the doll is are pages torn out of the Bible that are posted to every part of each wall and even inside the door. Janice unknowingly releases the demon that possesses the doll. Then mysterious and strange things start happening to her and around her and to all the other girls and Sister Charlotte. The older girls try to brush it off, but as more terrifying events start unfolding around the house, the girls know that something is haunting them, but it is mainly after Janice and Linda. Janice gets seriously injured by the demon who makes it to where she can't walk, and after getting back to the house from the hospital, traps her in the barn and possesses her. Linda is also being tormented and terrorized by the demon, but not to the extent that Janice is. After the demon possesses Janice, Linda notices dramatic and scary changes in her best friend and knows it is the work of the demon because now Janice can walk perfectly without the aid of her crutch and leg brace. One night, Linda gets the doll and tries to get rid of it because she knows it has done something to Janice. The doll then reappears in the house after Linda drops it down a well. Sister Charlotte saves Linda and traps Janice back in the closet with the doll and throws a crucifix necklace around her and runs to safety with the other girls in tow. That morning, the police come along with priests and they bless the house, but discover Janice has escaped and is nowhere to be found, but the doll remains. The girls put the doll in the back of the police cruiser and they take it to evidence lockup or maybe somewhere else. It doesn't really say where the doll is taken. Before the film ends, we learn that Janice, who now goes by the name of Annabelle, is alive and well and is still the same age, but she is still possessed and able to walk and gets adopted by a nice couple, Mr. and Mrs. Higgins. And we then see how the events of this film and this film's final moments end up playing right into the events at the beginning of the next movie, which is Annabelle from 2014. So I must say that I liked this film very much, and for a lot of reasons. First off, the director said he used more tension and suspense to build up thrilling and scary moments as opposed to jump scares, and you can really see that in this film. Most of the film uses practical special effects. There are a few shots that are done with CGI special effects, but most everything is real and done the old school way, and it looks great. There's a scene in the film at the very beginning of the film before we meet the girls from the orphanage, and it's a scene where your heart skips a beat or more, and you are literally reacting to what's happening on screen, and it's every parent's worst nightmare. Another thing about this film, as far as the characters go, there's a lot of character depth to them. These are not just characters they put in here so they can get killed or scared. They actually have a purpose in the film. We get to know them and we care about them, and we care about what's happening or what is going to happen to them. One of the main characters, Janice, played by Talitha Bateman, is just an extraordinary actress, and I mean that in such just a great way. I mean, she has to portray so many emotions through so many different circumstances throughout this entire film, and she was dynamite. She knocked her performance out of the park, and I would say she deserves an Oscar. That's how good this little girl was in this film. I mean, she was amazing. Yes, this is a scary suspense thriller horror movie, and yes, we get scared and there is a little bit of blood, but one thing I commend this film for and give it huge props for is there's no gore, there are no sexual scenes, and no cussing. I did not hear one cuss word in this film, which is a rare thing these days. The use of music in this film, both with lyrics and instrumental music, is really good. The film score is good, and it puts you in whatever mood or emotion is being shown on screen. It's a good score, but I mean, it's not like an epic, memorable score like something like Jaws or Indiana Jones or something like that, but it does its job. The film does a great job using the camera and different shots and different camera angles. The film has a beautiful color tone. I loved the wide shots that were used during the outside scenes. The film really takes you back and puts you back in this time period, which is 1943 to 1955. The sounds in this film are incredible, and especially the sounds of, like, old floors cracking, bones cracking or breaking. Whoever did the sound and sound editing and sound mixing deserves an Oscar, because the sounds in this movie were just top notch, done so well. So David F. Sandberg, he's just an awesome director of not just horror, but so far almost everything he has done. I can't wait to see what he does in the future. If the DCEU decides to do a second Shazam movie, I hope Sandberg comes back to direct that as well, because I loved the first Shazam movie. As far as my negatives for this film, the biggest one was actor Anthony LaPaglia and his performance in this film. It was just bland, and the way he was and the way he spoke was just so monotone, almost like he just didn't even want to be there. He had no energy, and it made me tired just watching his character. I would have liked to have seen more scenes or a short sequence of grief after the tragic event at the beginning of the film. I thought they could have shown how Janice / Annabelle escaped at the end of the film. They just leave that up to the imagination. Another thing I wish we could have gotten was some scenes with Esther Mullins, played by Miranda Otto, with the girls from the orphanage. Some of the scenes with the CGI come into play. The effects were good, but in some shots they were not good. They weren't like bad, but they weren't good. That's pretty much what I have to say about this film. So let's talk about my grade for this film. All in all, this film is awesome. Great story, wonderful effects, great sound, top-notch acting minus one person, great directing, great use of the camera and the locations. This film is just top-notch. So I'm going to give it an A minus. I don't have this film in my collection yet, but I hope to get it soon because it's a great movie. I can't say enough about it. It's wonderful. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, please go down to the subscription box and subscribe to this video. Also, like this video. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you know when I put new videos up. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. God bless you, and I will see you all in the next video.
Linda, what are you doing?
This doll. It's hurting Janice and it killed Mr. Mullins. I'm getting rid of it.
Linda, let's go back. Linda?